We left because we were the only white people.
This is the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote.
Pardon it.
Here's your host, Greg Cote.
So we're in the process of finally getting this new podcast studio
Yes.
done.
Are we prepared to tell the audience when it'll be ready?
I mean, everything is being delivered in mid-February, I think. And
I'd like to say by March.
Okay, I'd like to say by March, too.
If we could do the first episode from that new studio first week of March, that would be great.
Right. Yeah, our 6th anniversary is coming up in late March.
Maybe that'll be the one.
That would be a good, realistic date to debut it. And in preparing for our new studio...
And it's going to be the room you're currently sitting in.
Yes. And you will no longer have to look at this old-timey background with my slat louver, closet doors, whatever that design is called.
I think we can be transparent about our inspiration for our studio. Like if people are curious what it's going to look like, we could send them to another podcast and say this is the aesthetic we're going for with our own style.
Okay.
Or should we not?
Well, you're the one who's been designing in your mind and doing more of the heavy lifting and getting this happening than me. So, I don't even know the name of the podcast.
I'll say
that you're
it.
referring
Andrew
to.
Santino is one of my favorite comedians. It's the Bad Friends podcast. It's Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee. That's the vibe we're going to be going for. It an L-shaped table where me and my dad both sitting at it in the same room. So we're stepping it up around here.
Okay, great. Yeah, and we're going to have a fun background and all kind of curios and everything on the desk. And in cleaning the office,
you gonna put the Elton John wax koozie?
Oh yeah. Hang on.
Oh, you have it there?
I have it right here.
Wow, no Miller Lite in it. That's a shock.
Well, it's early yet. Give me a couple hours. Right after we record, I'm still in coffee mode. But
it's 4 p.m.
I know, it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Coffee?
I drink coffee all morning and all afternoon. Segue immediately to beer at 5:01.
Dad, how are you feeling with Zaslow coming on today? Like, what are your thoughts?
Jonathan Zaslow. I feel good. I think it was my idea to have him on. I mean, what can I tell you?
Dan has you and him with such a beef. Is this going to be awkward?
Well, I think it's mostly a fake beef.
A beef.
Levitard loves that mock conflict.
He loves to pin people up against each other. That's for sure.
He absolutely does, which is part funny, part annoying. But we can talk more about that with Zaz. One thing I want to show you from what I've discovered in going through all my memorabilia and cleaning this up. When we first started this podcast, the Miami Herald envisioned it as a pure sports podcast where I want to, I'm talking about the Dolphins and the Heat nonstop. And as an example, this is 4 or 5 of the main names that they were considering.
Wow.
For the podcast.
Podnit, actually, I don't remember that one.
Podnit's not bad.
I remember the name that they really were going with was terrible though. Which one was it?
It was probably Sports 105 or Miami Sports Plus.
You mean Sports 305?
Or 305, yeah. Right, sorry. After the area code down here. But the way it came to be the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote is that...
I thought of it.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
But when I floated the idea to Levitard, he immediately laughed, which is loving it. And we were in his car driving to pick up our credentials for the Super Bowl, which was held the day we come out, February 2nd in 2020. So we were together in his car headed to pick up our credentials for that Super Bowl 6 years ago.
2020, Dan was still going to pick up his credentials?
Yeah.
I feel like nowadays his assistant would go.
Oh, no doubt. But back then, and I think his helicopter was in the shop.
I was going to say,
so we had to take his car.
For those, maybe you do just need to be there with your ID, though. Maybe I don't think an assistant can maybe do that.
I think you're probably right.
Yeah.
I think you're probably right. Anyway, yeah, I'm happy to have Zaslow join us. Before he does,
we got to talk some Super Bowl. This is the last episode that we have before the Super Bowl.
I know, but
we will be the first people to predict the Super Bowl because most people will do it Friday. We're doing it Monday.
Damn right we are. But first, I want to sort of slap you around a little bit. Not physically because I've never done that. not an abusive father. I was right about the Guy Fieri thing.
No,
It was not AI.
No, you're right. It was not AI, but the overall gist was you thought it was real, and I was like, this. Now I should have been onto it. It's clearly a tease for a Super Bowl ad. Like we are going to like that's what it is.
Yes,
I understand. People tweeted at me. I was very condescending that it was AI, but I'm not taking the L on this. Like, yes,
what?
But no. I was wrong about the specifics of it being created by AI, but I was not wrong that you were dumb to think that that was real.
Oh, okay. I mean,
it was just so obvious. You genuinely thought that he rolled out a genuine, this is just what I look like now. And I was onto it immediately. Yes, on exactly what it was, I was off. But overall, I was way more right than you were.
Okay, I could not disagree more. I can't believe you're not taking the L.
You said it was that. First of all, as the guy that won't take the L on the Andrew Jones tweet, you should like respect people just staying entrenched in a ridiculous take. I'm far more right than you were with Andrew Jones. Like, and I'm far like, how are you arguing that you were right at all? I'm admitting where I was wrong. Yes, it's not AI, but I was right that it was not real.
Okay. So you did just admit you were totally wrong about it being AI.
I was wrong. I was right that it's fake, clearly. But I said
fake.
It was AI and it's a commercial. Like it's him dressing up for a commercial.
Okay, I want to get off this in a second. My final statement to the jury here is that the picture of Guy Fieri that we saw, where he looked 100% different, was actually him.
Yeah,
but it was not AI.
Okay, we can put this on the poll. Who was more wrong, Chris or Greg? Like,
okay.
Eddie, let's put this poll up when this episode comes out.
Okay.
But like, explain to me, like whatever. Let's not get bogged down. But I'm just it wasn't. It's not a real look. He has not changed his look. It's a commercial.
Okay. All right. Fine. Let's move on. And by the way, you mentioned Andrew Jones, so I want to mention this. I was less wrong about Andrew Jones than the damn football voters, Hall of Fame voters, were about Bill Belichick. Okay.
You were less wrong. Okay.
I was less wrong. The Hall of Fame and its voters shamed themselves by slapping Bill Belichick on the wrist because almost 20 years ago he was involved in a small scandal that he paid for at the time.
You being like the arbiter of like steroids, that's worthy of not being a first ballot, but I will vote for you eventually. This cheating scandal, not big enough. I will vote for you. Like you sitting back on your high horse and being the arbiter on like that guy's a first ballot because he did this, but that guy did something, but he is a first ballot. Like,
right.
Like
if you have a vote, if you have a Hall of Fame vote, but almost by definition, you are an arbiter. It's your job to decide things. In the case of the steroid guys, I vote for a guy with a steroid past only if I am convinced that the use of steroid did not lead him to hit 750 home runs.
You just gave me the idea. You should tweet out, like you should quote tweet something involving Bill Belichick and do a verbatim your Andrew Jones tweet, like for Bill Belichick, of like, you Belichick people need to, like, you know, the way you were condescendingly dismissive of Andrew Jones ever getting in. Yeah. You should like word for word tweet that out, just replacing Belichick with Andrew Jones. Like,
okay.
Like just replace
6 Super Bowls.
But like
6 Super Bowl wins.
You should do that. That would be funny.
Okay. Hall of Fame voters who did not vote for Belichick, you have shamed yourself. I don't care how you excuse it. You have shamed yourself. The Hall of Fame, the NFL, all of Canton, perhaps all of Ohio.
I mean,
You've shamed the entire United States.
Look, I feel like Juju hit the nail on the head on this. No one really cares about this that much. Like, I'm about to say my argument, but I'm with Juju. This is not that important. I don't really care. But I can see the logic on a guy that got caught, like, spying on other people's practices. That seems like that's kind of an advantage. And then
he paid for his crime.
And then a guy that as soon as Brady left him, like, just irrelevant. Mac Jones, fart. Kraft hates him. He's gone. Like, it's just like, I can see you have a scandal. You weren't great without Brady. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I can just see the math. It's not the craziest thing in the world to me that somebody did the math of. And basically, I heard Samson saying this. This is basically just Robert Kraft is getting in this year. He didn't want to do it with Belichick. Like, that really seems like that's what happened here.
I know, which is another shame on the Hall of Fame.
It seems like Kraft just kind of has some power and was like, hey, I want him in next year.
Correct.
I wasn't
That's
a first
exactly what
ballot.
happened.
I don't want him to be a first ballot.
Yeah. Yeah. So like a lot of others, you were putting an asterisk on all 6 of Bill Belichick's Super Bowl wins.
No, like I said, I'm like Juju. Don't really care that much.
Okay. You know, the funny thing is, I never liked Belichick that much personally, and I'm the first guy to make fun of him for having a girlfriend young enough to be his granddaughter and all that stuff. But in this case, I just think it's terrible. But we'll move on from that. Any thoughts?
Zaz is about to join us, by the way. So
okay, all right. We'll get to other stuff later. I do want to ask you about Giannis Antetokounmpo to the Miami Heat.
I mean, we should talk that. Zaz is the best person to talk about that with.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, although we're recording this Friday and it comes out Monday, so if their big trade happens, we have to just then go in and redo stuff.
That's always your big fear. Chris Cote hates to talk about stuff that might change between the time we're talking right now and the time the podcast comes out in a couple of days.
It's a pretty standard thought with podcasting that when you release, you want to be current.
Okay.
Like,
well, that's why we're predicting. We're going to predict the Super Bowl, which is ahead, not happen.
We'll be transparent with this. Hey, we're going to talk Giannis in a little bit. We recorded this Friday. If shit changes, we're not doing it again.
Mm-hmm. That's all you got to do. You know, all I'm looking for out of you, out of Zaz, out of myself right now is an opinion. You know, some people think, hey, he's a 31-year-old guy who's injured. He's not worth giving up so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so and this and that. Not everybody thinks that the Heat should go all in for Giannis. Probably most do, but
who doesn't?
I don't know him.
Who's really trying to hold on to Tyler Hero?
Well, Tyler Hero, you know, I'd rather give up him than anybody else on the team, not counting the small guys.
I mean, realistically.
I'd rather give up him than Bam, for example. That's for sure.
It's looking like it's going to be Tyler and Khalil Ware.
Yeah, for sure. Those are picks. Tyler, Khalil Ware, and the 2 first-round picks they're allowed to trade are definitely what's going to happen. I actually think that they're going to end up not moving them before the trade.
You got to put Rozier in there if you're a Heat fan. You just want to get Rozier out of here.
Oh my God! Talk about dead wood. And the only reason they kept him was to include him in a trade to match contracts or however that crap works. So yeah, I do want to get Zaz's opinion on that because I think of him as probably being more of a Heat expert than any other sport. Is that right or wrong?
Yeah. I mean, 2-time champion broadcaster.
Oh God, don't get me started. Okay. That's the kind of thing that drives me crazy, if I'm being honest. And it's not just him. If
I mean, you're crazy to think that if you were a broadcaster for a team, the fact that you would think when you would get a ring when they won, the fact that you would be calling yourself a 2-time champion, like is such a thing you would do.
Okay, listen.
He's here. You want to bring him in on this? You want to just start with him here?
I'm fine.
We don't have to start here. I don't love the energy that Dan does of like you going at him or like I feel like we've done that song and dance.
Then let me just say one thing before we let him in.
Let's talk about him before he gets here. Yeah.
Okay. You remember was it last week on the episode where we were talking about it was before the national championship game and I mentioned factually that I have covered like 10 or 12 local championship games.
Covering a game as a columnist is way different than being the pre and post. Yeah, Miami Heat basketball on the radio. Welcome. We got a big game tonight. Like he's essentially an Eric Reed. He's the same connection Eric Reed has.
Right. I'm gonna call myself a 10-time championship columnist.
You're a columnist
for the Miami Herald.
The Miami Herald. See, like all right, you're gonna do the Andrew Jones thing where you just don't listen to any words. You're just like, I'm right. All right, let's bring him in.
Fun times in the big house.
Not for me. What a shitty afternoon.
Yeah, what happened? Your car's in the shop? What happened?
Everything.
You blew a tire? It's because you're driving threadbare tires. Chris Cote driving a threadbare tire on his car. He gets a blowout on the highway. He scrambles, calls dad, doesn't have a key.
What
a nightmare.
I cannot tell you the last time that I had any kind of like a car trouble type day. And it's the worst. I haven't done it in years and I hated it. Zaz, you're joining us now. What's up, Zaz? We're talking car trouble. When's the last time Zaz had car trouble?
Oh man, I mean, I the time that I remember, it was a long time ago, like 20 years ago.
See, never happens.
I kept ignoring the coolant light That was I drove an Audi back then, all right? So I was very fancy.
Yeah.
I drove an Audi A4 and the coolant light was on for a long time. I just kept ignoring it, and then on the highway, car started smoking and I had to pull over on the highway. I grabbed a few things out of the car. It was one of those deals where I think the car might catch fire. And so I grabbed a few things that I needed and I had to call, like the engine blew, and I had to call my father. And
Same.
It was one of those deals where the first thing I said to go, listen, I don't need a lecture. I'm going to tell you what happened, and I just need your help because I'm on the verge of a panic attack.
That's basically what I was like. I'm like, Dad, I don't want to hear it right now. I need you to come get me, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, what a pain.
Yeah, not for the first time did you make a car-related call to me.
Man, but not first time in a long time.
Yeah. Can I remind the people of the time as a teenager that you put diesel fuel in your car?
We don't have to do that.
No.
I don't know why.
Yeah.
This is my fault. I went down this path and I walked right into that. Yes.
I mean, isn't that one of the first things you tell your kid when they get a car?
Yeah.
Oh, so it's my fault.
And
No, I don't know.
and the best part about this is I knew you weren't supposed to do this. This was actually the first year of college. This wasn't even high school. I'm
okay.
up at FAU, and my only excuse, I had a lady with me. That's my excuse. I was distracted by love. But anyways, we don't need to do this whole story again.
Okay.
Yes, I ruined my car with diesel fuel.
Good to see my fake enemy, Jonathan Zaslow.
Thank you for having me. My first ever visit to the show.
I know. I figured we had to have you on because I want to spend part of this. Levitard, look, I'm not going to complain because this guy's got it on. He knows exactly what works. I'm not going to say he's formulaic because formulaic has a negative connotation. When I say
He's
that
a little formulaic.
When I say that he relies on formula, he relies on things that he thinks work time and time again. One of the things he loves is conflict, whether it's you against me, Billy against Roy, whatever it is, he loves that.
Yes.
And so I have to ask you, Zaslow, what is it about Levitard that annoys you a little bit?
Yeah, let's.
And it's also very radio. Like conflict.
Yes.
Where the listener thinks, or whether they believe it or not, if they think that people are arguing, don't like each other, if there's conflict, like that's very, very attractive usually to the listeners. So
yeah,
bumps up TSL.
Yeah, it's very radio. What is something about Levitard that bothers me?
I think you two, you should join together and bash Dan. Let's do this.
Well, Zaslow thinks about it. The only thing I would mention is what I just mentioned, the idea that, like, if I bump a microphone before, a minute and a half before we go on the air, if I sneeze into a microphone or bump the microphone or my phone goes off, I just know that he's going to lead the show making fun of ill-prepared Greg Cote, who's panicking. He doesn't know where the microphone, it's just, it gets a little much.
What's the question?
There is no question. I don't know. That's what annoys me about Dan. I love him like a brother, but and like a pet. But
I'll think about it. I off the top of my head, does anything bother me? Like, I'm having a great time on the show. I'm very happy to be part of the show.
Right.
I'll think of something though. I'll think of something.
How did that whole thing come up? Not necessarily a timeline, but like one day you get a call out of the blue from Levitard, or does it come in a text?
Yeah. No. So when I lost my job on radio from when 790 The Ticket shut down. This is the late 2022. Yeah. And so obviously one of the first, calls that I made was to come and visit the show back then at the Clevelander and just let Dan know if there's anything. It didn't even have to be an on-air role. You're just like, I need a job, I got a family. So right. I kind of, laid, hope to put some kind of lay some foundation then. And obviously, there was nothing available at the time. There was nothing open at the time. And then it got to a point like 2 years later when the show started asking me to come in and do guest appearance. Like, hell yeah, I want to do that. Who knows what it winds up, turning into. Mm-hmm. And then now we're talking about a year ago from now, where I started to get asked to come in for a paid appearance, Yes, we can get paid to do this. So I started to come in and get paid for it. And I told them, I was like, look, my schedule allows me. I could do this as much as you want. I could be in every day. I could be in one day. Like, I am available to you. And obviously, if you put the schedule math together, a year ago from right now, or almost a year ago, was really when Stugotz started to not be around as much.
Right.
And so it gave me more opportunities. And, who knows? Maybe Dan was kind of hedging, all right, if Stugotz continues to show up less and less, there's someone here who could fill in for him. Like, maybe that was Dan's mindset. And then eventually it just got to a place where they kept asking me to come in every day.
I'm glad you mentioned Stugotz, because we all like him very much, and
love him,
and we all wish he was back on the show and all that stuff. That's totally genuine. Even when Dan says it, it's totally genuine. But yet it's a taboo subject to talk about, like on the Le Batard show, right? It rarely comes up, and it's just weird to me, because I don't see any winners and losers here. Stugotz left for his dream job, really, and the Le Batard show goes on well without him. Both sides are happy.
Hey, 9 days in January. There's still. Oh wait, but maybe next month.
Yeah, I think you meant next January.
I expect Stugotz back. That's my time. That's where I'm stancing.
Do you really?
I do.
Okay.
I believe Dan when he says that he would love for Stugotz to come back and still do shows and being happy for his success and all. Like, all of that is everything that I've ever known of Dan. I mean, I've told people, hey, Dan's the kindest person I've ever known. Yeah. So I certainly think he's being honest when he says all that. I think maybe the Stugotz stuff is a taboo thing for a couple of reasons. I think there's too much respect for him and everything that he created, not just with $7.90 the ticket, which means a whole lot to me, but with the Dan Le Batard show that I don't think Dan wants anyone to say anything disparaging about Stugotz, because there is too much respect there. And also, I don't know that there's a listen, full disclosure, I haven't talked to Dan. I haven't said anything to Dan about Stugotz, and Dan has not said anything about Stugotz to me, and I would say probably 5 months. I have not had a single Stugotz conversation with Dan in probably 5 months. And I think that maybe the reason that it's been a taboo subject is because there's no actual finality to it yet. I mean, clearly there's no finality, because Stugotz said he's going to do 9 dates in January, and yet we're still here waiting. So I think the fact that there's no actual resolution yet is probably why it hasn't been broached. Yeah,
no, that's fair. Have you spoken to Stugotz since you've had a much higher profile on the show?
Oh, yeah. I mean, well, Stugotz, the last show that Stugotz did on the show was over the summertime, and I was in the host chair. Dan was gone for summer break, so certainly I talked to Stugotz a lot that day, Otherwise, I've sent him a couple text messages. I certainly text him after the news came out about him getting the Fox Sports radio gig. So that was probably the last time I had communication with him.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's, I truly enjoy Stugotz.
And look, I like Stugotz a lot. Like, Stugotz gave me my first job. Stugotz the one who interviewed me at $7.90 a ticket before we launched on air back in 2004. Stugotz gave me my first ever job, and I like Stugotz a lot. Absolutely.
Wow, that's cool. Yeah. I'm not sure I knew that.
Stugotz was the king of that. Like, he hired a lot of people from $7.90.
Yeah.
How did you create and craft your persona? And I'm half kidding when I say you're too loud and too boisterous for me. It's not my style. I don't particularly like the Stephen A. Smith guy. I like the more modulated Wilbon approach. But yours obviously works for you. You're terrific at what you do. And I'm just wondering, totally natural, or is that a character, so to speak?
Oh, I think it's natural, but it's obviously it's an exaggerated version of myself. Like, I'm not saying anything that I don't believe.
Right.
I am heavily influenced, or at least I was heavily influenced by Jim Rome and then Chris Russo. Like those, like if you hear me say that and then you listen to, me do shows, those two are a heavy, heavy influence on me. And how did I create the persona? Like, I'm lucky for two reasons. Number one, that my first job was at $7.90 the ticket, where they threw me on the air within 2 months of the station being on the air, and 2 months I was out of college and having zero experience doing anything. They threw me on the air in a top 13 market, which makes no sense because they needed people to fill airtime.
Right.
But then after that, when I got my first gig doing my own show, it was me. It was a solo show. I did the Zaslow show weeknights on 790 a ticket. And because it was just me, and because it was in the evenings where, it's not major day part, I was able to do whatever I wanted. I was able to try stuff. I was able to figure out what I like, what I actually want to do. And that gave me the freedom doing a show on my own in not a high profile spot. I was able to really learn what I want to do.
You know what scares me is the idea of doing a show all by myself. And Levitard has said something similar, that he couldn't do that. Didn't you find it daunting to be alone in a room with 3 hours staring at you?
Yeah, so the first time I ever did a solo show, we used to have a time slot on 790 before Joe Rose. Joe Rose started at 7 a.m. back then. So we had a 5 to 7 a.m. live show.
Oh my God.
And I was asked to fill in one day on that show. And I had never done a solo show before. I'd done weekends, but I did it with a partner. And I'm like, yes, of course I want to be on. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to find out in these first 5 minutes. Like by 5:05 a.m., I'm going to know if I could do this or not. And there's no way to actually know until you do it.
Yeah.
So within the first 5 minutes, I knew if I was going to be able to fill any amount of time. And I did. Like I was able to. So you don't really know until you do it. I used to really over prepare. I mean, I would have sheets of paper, all handwritten, because if you write it out by hand, you remember it better than if you type it.
Yeah.
So I would write everything out by hand. I was essentially reading a script during my shows, but you would never know it because I think I was always really good at hiding that I was reading things. They were my thoughts. Now I get to the point, I mean, I'll roll out of bed now and knock that shit out of the park. I don't need notes or anything. But
Really?
but I used to be super over prepared because I didn't want this to be the show that everybody realizes I'm a huge fraud and I'm not good at this.
Right. Yeah, I'd be terrified. I'd be a half hour into a solo show and I'd be like singing and making bad jokes. I'd be running out of material. I would just, I need somebody else to bounce things off.
But it was exhilarating, like doing the show by myself and then realizing that, okay, I can do it and I have all this real estate to myself and do whatever I want. It was exhilarating.
We talked last week, I think it was, or a couple of weeks ago, about the Mike Biamonte leaving as the Heat announcer. And I believe Christopher may or may not have mentioned that you would love that job.
Oh, I would.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't think they would consider me. I in theory, I would love that job. I don't know if it'd be a good fit for me now because I really do have a lot on my plate. Like I do a lot now for work. I essentially have 3 different jobs. Okay?
Yeah.
And one of them for 4 months, 5 months out of the year requires me to travel every single weekend.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I'm actually a good fit for it anymore. But I don't think they would consider me. But at a time, I would have loved that job. Yeah.
Now, Biamonte, who's great and deserves the long farewell, he's got his famous catchphrases. Dos minutos.
Dad, I think you're going to do this thing. I think they want someone with a new voice. I don't think they want somebody to be Michael B.
100%. And what I wanted to ask Zaslow is, he's got Dos Minutos and other stuff that we're very
what would
familiar
Zaz
with.
use?
What would, have you even thought about this? Like,
I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't. Like if I were to be in consideration, I would sit down and I would come up with a bunch of catchphrases. Like for instance, I did play-by-play for the Heat a bunch my last couple years when I was on their broadcast. I filled in for probably like 10 or so games. And so I brought a lot of my catchphrases from my show onto the broadcast, okay?
Someone's your boy.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. I brought it onto the broadcast. I wouldn't be able to do that as the PA for the team. You know, I would come up with stuff, but I wouldn't just be able to, shout out, that's my boy, or, it. Bad news for the Pistons. Like, I wouldn't be able to do that kind of stuff.
We might be able, maybe not. Yeah, that last one maybe, but no. That's hilarious.
That's funny. So I consider you to be a Heat expert. Obviously, the big news now is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is Milwaukee going to trade him? Are they going to wait till the offseason? Do the Heat have a shot? What's your take on that whole situation?
I think I think they have a real chance. I think it's weird. I talked about this on my podcast earlier today. The people who who think that the Warriors, because the Warriors have all tradable picks. They could trade as many as they're eligible for, which is 4. While the Heat right now are only eligible to trade 2 picks.
Yeah.
But the Heat have the far superior package of younger players who are available to you right now, when Golden State's lone attractive player is Jonathan Kuminga. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
We remember what it was like when the Heat were trying to trade for Damian Lillard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, Tyler Hero was the centerpiece. And everyone's poo-pooing Tyler Hero, and Jonathan Kuminga just went 17 consecutive games DNP coach's decision. Meaning, on an average Warriors team, a champion coach didn't think this player was worth playing for a single minute for 17 straight games. And that is the prize piece for Giannis Antetokounmpo? What are you
Right.
talking about?
I could not agree with you more. I think the key is how highly do the Bucks regard Kel'el Ware's ceiling? Like, is he going to develop into not Wembayama? I'm not suggesting that, but is he going to develop into something that's special in this league as a big man? I don't think we know that yet. The Heat
More
hope
likely
it-
than Kuminga, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah, and Tyler Hero is a recent All-Star. Those are two.
And he's a local kid. So you
Yeah,
could
that's
you could market him easily.
Yeah, I think as a starting point, if you offer Kel'el Ware, Tyler Hero, the 2 first-round picks as a starting
What
point,
about Rozier? Can we throw
you
that
have a
in?
shot.
No.
Rozier.
You know what the frustrating part about the Rozier thing is, if the Heat never made that trade and they had their 27 first-round pick,
Yeah.
they would be able to trade every pick they currently have, and they would be a lock to get Giannis.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. But I think the Heat have 2 more first round picks open up this summer. I think.
They have one more that opens up, and what it means when people say that is, it just means that Milwaukee, tell us who to select for you, and then we'll trade that guy over to you. That's
Right.
That's what that means. So
Yeah.
they would have, and theoretically, every team would have at least one more pick to offer if we get to the summer, because every team can do that.
Right, including the Knicks, who supposedly are 1 and 1A. If you believe in betting odds. So, Jonathan, does anybody call you Jonathan?
My
Because
mother,
that's the first time I've ever done it.
my mother, and my father call me Jonathan, and like my wife doesn't. Like my wife does. My wife calls me Babe, so she doesn't
Okay.
call me Jonathan.
All right.
I think my mother.
Personal.
I think my mother and my father are the only 2 people. But I always introduce myself as Jonathan, and then people find out that I'm Zaslow. Like, oh, you're Zaslow. I'm like, yeah, that's me.
Right.
So people get confused because I always introduce myself as Jonathan.
And go ahead.
No, I was just
Christopher.
going to say, because he mentioned his wife. I met your wife at our holiday party, and she was very lovely, and she loved to, she could tell that she loves to, rib you a little bit.
Yeah.
So I'm curious of your obsessions, like whether it's the Heat, wrestling, Pearl Jam. What does she mock you the most for?
Oh, the wrestling. Like I hid from her for several years my wrestling fandom. I waited until probably a little bit after we were married, okay, before I'm sitting in front of the television. Hey, want to watch Monday Night Raw? Like she had no idea that I liked wrestling, and at that point, it's like, well, what are you gonna do? Like, we're married, But I hid it from her for a few years, and I pull that with her all the time. Hey, Cody Rhodes is coming out. Come, and she gives me a look, and she keeps walking to the other room. She hates it. She hates it.
Yeah, good woman. I don't blame her. I hate that too.
She thinks it's so trashy, and me and my son will take at least one trip a year where we go to one of the big WWE shows. Like this past summer, we went to SummerSlam up in New Jersey, and always a wave of shame and embarrassment comes over me when I have to tell her how much the tickets cost.
Let's do, because the Rumble is this week, is the weekend.
Tomorrow.
This will come out. We're recording
yes.
Friday. This will come out Monday. So let's do the thing where you kind of give a prediction, and we'll just when people are listening to this, you were either spot on or horribly wrong.
Okay.
What do you think's gonna happen?
Yeah, I think Gunther is going to win the Royal Rumble for the men. I think Liv Morgan is going to win it for the women. And yeah, Gunther winning would be the big story. I think Gunther
is he
wins.
one of the favorites? Like, I don't know, like the betting odds on this stuff.
Yeah, he's not
a
the
long
favorite.
Shot?
He's not like the favorite right now is Roman Reigns, but I think Gunther is going to win it.
Okay.
All right.
That. We'll see.
I would not know Gunther if he appeared right now with a handgun.
Oh, he's a very
trying to
bad
rob me.
man. Greg
Is
he's a very bad man. Very bad.
Okay,
Gunther Mazda.
that's what I thought of as soon as he said.
That's right. He owns the dealership. That's right.
There you go. He's a businessman in his office time.
Yeah.
Super Bowl. This is Super Bowl week. We come up Monday.
Yep.
Seahawks Patriots.
First people
Great
to predict
matchup.
it right here. First people to
Great
predict
matchup or terrible matchup or somewhere in between.
I think it's a great matchup. I mean, the Patriots certainly earned it. They've been great all season. The Seahawks have been the best team for most of the year. I'm into it. I don't buy the whole, this would be a terrible matchup, because for me, like, I'm always into the commercials. I like that part of it.
True.
And I love Super Bowl boxes. All I care about is boxes. So there's the gambling aspect to it to me that I don't care who plays in it. I just want to do Super Bowl boxes. And so I'm into the Super Bowl.
And what's your, like, are you a home with just the family? Are you I'm going to party with 20 people? Because you get to these 20 people, 30 people parties, no one shuts up for the commercials.
Yes.
Oh,
right.
totally. No, we're going to watch it at home. Watch it with my boys and with my wife. I will tell you a funny story. Do we have time for a funny story?
Yeah.
So this is like 20 years ago. It was the Eagles Patriots Super Bowl. So maybe that was 2005, if that sounds right. And this is the very early days of $7.90 the ticket. And OJ McDuffie used to do shows on $7.90 ticket back then. And I was really young. I was 24, 25 years old. And I'd become friends with OJ, and which was a real thrill because he was one of my all-time favorite Miami Dolphins. And so OJ invited me and my wife to his home to watch the Super Bowl. Of course we're going to go,
Right.
And so, and it's great. He's got a theater with stadium seating. He's got a great house. And so we arrive to OJ's house, my wife and I, and we pull up right away, and we walk on in, and we're immediately greeted by Kijana Carter, who's like OJ's best friend. We're immediately greeted by Kijana Carter. He's got the Super Bowl squares, all right? It's like, hey, do you want to? Of course I want to do Super Bowl boxes.
Oh, no.
Right?
I know this is going.
But we're saying hello to everybody. Everybody's OJ saw us. We're there, says hello. Everybody says hello, okay? So I go, of course I want to do Super Bowl squares. OJ's walked away at this point. And I tell Kijana, I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to get you money. I didn't have cash on me. And so
I thought they were going to be mad expensive. I thought you were going to commit to 4 of them, and they're like $500 a piece or something.
No. But we want to do Super Bowl squares. We just arrived. And so within 5 minutes of arriving, I tell my wife, we got no cash. Let's get in the car. There's a gas station across the street. We'll go to the ATM.
Yeah.
And so we get in the car. We go to the ATM. I get the money out. Great. We get back in the car. Right when I get back in the car, I'm 2 minutes from OJ's house, okay? Right when we get back in the car, my cell phone rings. It says OJ McDuffie on it. And right then, I knew what was happening. I was like, oh, no.
I have no idea.
I knew what I was walking into now. I pick up the phone. OJ, Zaslow! And everyone in the background is hysterically laughing. He's got me on speaker. I know exactly what happened here, okay? We walked in the house. We said hello to a bunch of people. We're the only white people.
Oh my God. You guys,
it's all black people.
And then you
he's got his family, he's got his friends. And within 5 minutes, the only white people left.
Sneak out too.
Without telling anybody.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I knew before I answered the phone. I go, oh no. I go, OJ, go Zaslow. Everyone's laughing in the background. I didn't even need him to give it to say anything after that. I just go, OJ, I just went to go get money. I'll be back at your house in 2 minutes. And everyone's hysterical, laughing and cackling.
My God.
And we pulled back up at the house. Like, here, see, I just went to get money.
I love that.
And we had a great time. It was a good game.
That is so good.
That's a genuinely good story.
They all thought we left because we were the only white people.
That is so good. My dad used to host the post. Didn't you do pre and post with OJ, Dad?
Yeah, and I've also done the podcast he does now. The
Fish
Dolphin.
Tank.
Yeah, Fish Tank.
Nice.
Yeah, they had me on that.
I see him sometimes at the quarterdeck near Panthers games because he lives over there and he watches. Every time you see OJ McDuffie, it just brings you back.
Really nice guy.
he had a great career with the Dolphins. He's
And he's not a big guy.
no,
Like, it's impressive how like great his career was. He's like pretty normal sized.
he can't be more than he probably
Right.
played it as 6'1" or something, but he
Right.
can't be more than
Yeah.
5'10".
Yeah.
He just can't
Hell of
be.
a
But
player.
anyway, Zaslow, we're going to let you go, but I want a Super Bowl prediction.
Wow.
As we come out, the game is this coming weekend. You predict first, Zaslow.
Seahawks 30. New England 17.
Wow.
Wow. Okay. So you see justified the fairly large point spread.
I think they're going to easily cover.
Okay, Christopher.
I don't know yet.
Okay. All right, spoken like a true gambler who's going to wait for injuries to occur on Thursday in California.
No, I mean, I'm leaning like I think similar. I want to go like, oh, we got to go something different from Zaz, but I think Zaz is pretty spot on. I think that the Seahawks cover and they score in the mid-20s.
Okay, I'm gonna predict the Patriots in an upset, and here's why. It isn't because I think Drake May is better than Sam
What is
Darnold.
happening? First of all,
But I do.
You picked Denver to beat New England, and
I
then they
did.
win that, and now you're like, now I'm picking. You're all over the place.
And by the way, how good was I looking when Denver took a 7-0 lead on a 50-yard pass by Jarrett Stidham? I was in the hunt for one period, and then I got my ass kicked. No, I think the Patriots are going to win because their defense is really, really good, and Houston saw that in the playoffs when their defense outplayed Houston's great defense, and I think that's going to happen here. Seattle's got a great defense. I think the Pats defense is going to outplay them and turn Darnold into 1 or 2 turnovers, and it's going to be an upset.
All right.
So
wow. Well, good maiden voyage, Zaz. Appreciate
Okay.
you.
thank you, Zaz.
Thank you for having
check
me.
out Zaz 2.0. What else can the people? Where can the people find you outside of
Yeah,
Left Front
Zaslow Show 2.0, wherever you get your podcasts. And listen to the Greg Cote Show. There you go.
There you go. Thank you. And I want to part by saying that my fake friend, or my fake enemy, Zaslow, is great at what he does, and I think he's been really, really good for the Levitard Show. So
That's very kind. Thank you.
It's good being in there with you twice a week.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
Zaz.
Zaz.
See you later.
Appreciate it. All right, thanks again to Zaz. Really enjoyed him. We should have him on occasionally. That's for sure.
I love that OJ McDuffie story. I didn't know where that was going.
Oh, I didn't either. I thought the same thing as you at
I
first.
thought it was going to be he committed to like the most expensive Super Bowl boxes he's ever done. That's where I thought
they were
going.
You guessed 500. I thought they were going to be like 1,000 each.
Right.
You know, but that was
What is the most expensive Super Bowl box you've ever seen? Have you ever like had an athlete like offer you like a chance to get in one, or like have you ever heard of like some rich people doing some like crazy ones?
I'm sure they're out there, but you know, mine are like $5 a box at my house. So
I think I've seen $50 a box.
yeah, that to me that's the top end of what I might consider doing.
I'll do 2 boxes, $100, because now you're looking at a payout if you hit though.
Yeah, 20's good. You know, burn $100, get 5 boxes, you got a chance.
Mm-hmm.
You know, hey, you know what? Let's do the catchphrase countdown.
Oh, we need to.
We literally need to.
The Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote in partnership with Greg Cote presents Greg Cote's Top 50 Catchphrase Countdown. Brought to you by Greg Cote.
This is the 5th installment of the Greg Cote Show with Greg Cote in partnership with Greg Cote presents Greg Cote's Top 50 Catchphrases Countdown, brought to you by Greg Cote. We've been doing 2 per week. Began with number 50, I'm fuller than Vern Fuller, and 49, where's my click, click? Then it was 48, hey, Butterfinger, and 47, punt. Then it was 46, Scranton, and 45, I'm busier than a one-armed paper hanger. Last week it was 44, Georgia, and 43, I'm the kind of guy that... This is so ridiculous.
All right.
And now, this is going to bring us to the 1/5 mark.
Yeah, that's wild.
Crazy. Number 42. Ballin' the Jack. That's right.
Okay. Ball in the jack is when you're hurrying somewhere.
It's a 1913 song. At around that same time, Old-timey railroad workers use that as slang for going full speed.
Right.
A jack was a nickname for the locomotive.
Like whenever we're like moving on the highway and we're balling the jack.
Yeah. I think the first time I ever saw the phrase was in the Jack Kerouac novel On the Road. And he referred to car travel as we were balling the jack, getting to the West Coast or what have you. So, number 41. Hey, we're the monkeys, baby. People say we're monkeying around. Yeah.
Just you singing one of Mom's favorite songs ever.
Yes.
It's the theme song for the Monkey Show, right?
Yes. And sometimes it's hey, we're the hey-hays. But no, I've been singing that my whole life. That's not, some of these phrases are like associated with the Levitard show or my podcast. Some of them are like just in my own house is the only time anybody hears it.
Throughout my entire childhood, without any, like sometimes if someone maybe said, oh, like monkeys and like, oh, okay, and that reminds me of it. It would just like, it would always just fall out of the sky. You would just be like walking through the kitchen.
Right.
Like, hey, we're the monkeys, baby.
And I also
kind of like the Georgia thing, you'd have like a pause where you think you're done. And then you like come back like 6 seconds later after people have moved on. People say, "We monkey around."
Yes, exactly. and the other thing that gets me to say that is if somebody begins a sentence with the word "hey," but then pauses.
Hey.
If somebody goes, "Hey," I'll go, "Hey, we're the monkeys, baby." All right, so we've gone 50 through 41 in the top 40.
Only like 3 stinkers.
Okay, well,
one of which being. Hey, we're the monkeys, baby.
That's fine. Theoretically, the lower the chart, the lower the countdown, the stinkier it should be. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if I have 3 stinkers in the top 10, that'll be pretty bad.
I bet you will.
Okay, we'll see. Because I've used a lot of really good ones so far. What do you want next? Let me do Mount Gregmore. Because this one's timely. I
thought I only had to deal with 3 Facts Jack, phrases, and dad jokes. When did Mount Gregmore become a weekly thing again?
No, it's not. Mount Gregmore has snuck back in as an occasional.
I feel like you've done it a lot recently, but go ahead.
Okay. All right. Well, this is topical because, as you all know, this is the Mount Gregmore. It's better than Mount Rushmore because it's a top 5 plus honorable mention, not just a top 4 like the big mountain. This one is timely because we're doing the Mount Rushmore of Santas.
Gregmore.
No? You're right. Dumb. The Mount Gregmore of Santas.
How many Santas are there?
Honorable mention. The most populous U.S. Santa city, Santa Ana.
Why is
former Hurricane and NFL star, Santana Moss. Seattle Mariners 2017 draft pick, Kevin Santa.
Okay.
And favorite, Greg and Erlene, coastal city to visit, Santa Monica.
Okay. I feel better about this now. I didn't know what you were doing before.
Number 5, the largest U.S. Santa city outside of California, Santa Fe.
You said this is timely. Wouldn't this would have crushed a month ago?
I'll tell you why it's timely.
I get it, because it's Santa Clara. The Super Bowl's in Santa Clara. I get it.
Way to step on my punchline. Number 4, famous Paraguayan soccer striker, Roque Santa Cruz.
I saw that
3.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I saw that the famous soccer legend Hulk. You know, there's like a guy, like a retired guy for Brazil, I believe, whose name was Hulk.
Yeah, they all love the one name.
He just got married to his ex-wife's daughter. No, his ex-wife's sister's daughter.
What?
So his kid's cousin. He just married.
Oh. Is that legal?
I think so.
Okay. Okay. All right, way to go, Hulk, I think.
Number 2.
Or shame on you, one or the other. Number 3, host California city of the Super Bowl on February 8th, Santa Clara.
Okay.
Number 2, Carlos Santana.
Great song.
Great guitarist.
I'm just thinking of the one. I think is it called Santana, the song? Is the song called Santana or no?
No, I don't think so.
Man, I know I sound like an idiot right now, but there's this one, that classic, you know what I'm talking, it's the one,
the
Matchbox 20 guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I know the song you mean.
That guy.
I can't
that
think of the
song.
name of it either.
Love that song.
And number one, I can't pretend that Santa Claus isn't number one. I mean, he's the one indispensable Santa. And you know what, Santa Claus? I'm speaking directly to you. You don't get enough credit. Okay? All you have is a team of reindeer and an army of elves, but still you single-handedly deliver millions of gifts to millions of boys and girls around the world and do it totally for free. Santa Claus, you're my personal hero. Thank you very much.
Carlos Santana's still with us. I haven't seen him he hasn't released any music recently.
No new music, no. But he
April
was great in his
11th.
day.
He's going to be at Hard Rock.
What?
Not the stadium, but like Hard Rock Live down here.
Wow. I may go
April
see him.
11th.
I may go see him, quite frankly. Okay.
You think
Dad jokes.
You think Rob Thomas will be there?
He should be, because that one song they combined on was epic.
Yeah.
And dad jokes.
He's always kind of thinking that his puns are in vogue. He cracks himself up like an egg with a yolk. And now Chris's morale is broke. Dad jokes.
Number 3. Why is the word dark spelled with a K instead of a C?
Because you wouldn't be able to see it? I don't know.
You're pretty much right, because you can't see in the dark.
There you go.
I'll give you half credit for that. Number 2. What do you call a witch who loves the beach?
I don't know.
A sandwich. Pretty good.
Yeah, it's good.
Number 1. Why did the lettuce win the race with the rabbit?
Because it was ahead.
Yes, because it was always ahead. You did pretty good on that. Very good.
That's
3 facts, Jack.
That's for you, Sloan.
There are 3 things that interest him, so sit right back for 3 facts, Jack.
Number 3. The first baby stroller, invented in 1733 in Devonshire, southwest England, was designed not to be pushed by an adult, but to be pulled by a goat.
Do you have any memories of pushing me and Michael in strollers? Like, do you ever have any stroller snafus?
I definitely have memories of pushing you guys in a stroller. I think at the time we had a bumpy sidewalk. We had a sidewalk where all of a sudden one piece of the sidewalk is like an inch higher up than the other one, and so sometimes it would be a rocky ride because I wouldn't see the bump coming and you would lurch forward.
How often did you take me on a stroll around the neighborhood in my stroller just simply to get out of the house so you could smoke a joint?
Oh, I never did that.
And like while pushing me, you're like,
no, that was the time of my life when I might be apt to occasionally take a puff, but
you would do it when mom was watching me and you would step away. Kind of
yeah,
thing.
pretty much. Yeah, I never did it in front of you. In fact, you guys are the reason why
I know you
I
told me
finally
this.
gave that up.
I know it's funny because I'm reaching a similar time in my life where I'm having every once a couple times, my daughter where's daddy? It's just like,
oh no, and Graceland is so inquisitive and
yes.
so smart. I mean,
yes, yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's why,
right?
Yeah,
yeah, interesting. Keep me posted on that.
But I haven't gone the Greg Cote yet. Cold turkey. I mean, that's just crazy.
Right. It is just crazy. You're right. That and cigars. Whatever got into me. If I could only do that with beer, I might be healthy. Number 2. Evolution has changed the size of many animals. Example, the fossil of an ancient penguin found in Antarctica estimated the animal, a penguin, was 6 feet 8 inches tall and weighed almost 300 pounds. Isn't that great? A penguin.
Yeah.
Sounds like a small forward in the NBA.
Are you sure? Are they talking about Danny DeVito and Batman?
They're talking about what you picture when you hear the word penguin. Danny DeVito. Number 1. U.S. soldiers' food rations during World War II included Tootsie Rolls. How about that?
Fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
Good episode.
Why does my voice go up? What?
Good episode.
It was a good episode. We thank Zaslow for joining us. I'm glad we finally had him on. Part of the reason I wanted him on was the so-called feud that he and I have. I think we
Oh, shut up. You just wanted to talk Stugotz with him so you could tease it.
Yeah, that's probably true. I was hoping he'd reveal something.
You wanted him to hate
salacious.
Stugotz?
Yeah,
You wanted him to be like, I hate Stugotz. I hope he never
I
comes
did.
back.
Yeah, I'm glad to be the guy replacing him, even though I'm not really replacing him because he may eventually come back.
Yeah. I'm replacing him until he shows up because he'll definitely get this chair back.
Yeah, you got that right. That'll be in the contract. Okay. Thank you, Pod family. Appreciate you. Happy Super Bowl week. And we'll see you next week when the catchphrase countdown goes from 40 into the 30s. We're getting close. Not really, but we're moving along.
Man,
Follow the jack.
time flies when you're doing a mediocre bit, huh?
It really does. We like that, though. We like that. That's why we're not doing 5 at a time. For 10 weeks, we're doing 10 at a time for however long that is.
Where's Yeti?
Or 2 at a time. What am I talking about?
Where's Yeti?
I don't know. Where is Yeti?
Yeti!
By the way, I did a new cooking show. What do we call that?
All right,
Cooking with Cody?
The episode ended.
Okay. It's true. And thank God.